Hello, happy Thursday. It's nice to see your beautiful faces. It's lovely to have you here at the spa. Everyone looks particularly relaxed, I have to say. Everyone looks particularly relaxed. Hello, darling Alina. Nice to have you here. I think this is it. We had a few more people signed up, but I think some said they couldn't make it and asked for the recording, which, by the way, will not be shared. Because this is really just an intimate gathering for us to reconnect. I just felt it's been a while since we connected, which is why I titled it Let's Connect. And it's a time for us to come together. There is a purpose. It's not just for us to connect. We are entering very shortly the last quarter of the year. And I'm not one to kind of shoot about propaganda and say, oh, last quarter, what are you doing? And put people under pressure and make people feel bad that they haven't done this, or make people think, oh my God, running out of time. Because you're not running out of time. You're not running out of time. Yeah, thank you, Lorena. By all means, time is the most expensive commodity that we have, but you're not out of time. You're running to your time, which is not the same as anybody else's time. So the purpose of today is to say how we're going to spend. Do you? Exactly, Alina. Do you? The purpose of today is to really say, what are we doing with the time that we do have? What are we doing with the time that we do have? And what's next on our list? Not because it's the final quarter of the year, even though it is. Not because in the next 2.5 months we'll be entering a new year, because we will. But because we have a mission that we have to fulfill while we're here. And we want to make use of the time that we're here to fulfill that mission. So that's what this is about, to put things in perspective. Also, because for anyone who follows me, which I think everyone here does, this year has been probably the most significant in terms of trajectory of my business this year, 2024. And I really thank you, Alina. And I really wanted to share some of what I've been learning with you, which is why this is really for the community. I wanted to share some of what I've been learning, and maybe together we can look forward to what's to come for all of us. Who's happy with that as a plan? Who's happy with that as a plan? Yay! 2 hands up, 2 hands up. Alina is very happy. Lorena, you're right there, my darling. Yeah? Good. We have Faith as well. Faith, I hope you're well. I don't know if I said hello to you. If I didn't, forgive me. It's a mistake of the... Hey.
No, I'm here. And I'm sorry I don't have my camera on. I'm in the kitchen cooking, so.
No, that's fine. Thank you. I was on a call at 4 p.m. today with my mastermind, and I was in the kitchen cooking, and I had a question, and I had to take I didn't have to. I chose to take my camera off so I could ask the question, because I thought that was the only polite thing to do. And let me tell you, I looked a right mess. Let me tell you. But Alina, don't even laugh. I look like a tramp. I'm telling you. But they're my mastermind. They're my family. So it was all good. It was all good. However, Lorena, that meeting is recorded and shared with everyone. So yeah. So everyone's gonna know now that I look like a tramp when I'm at home cooking. But it's all good. It's all good. It's part of it. So listen, it's such a wonderful time to be alive. Did I say cooking? Yes, I was cooking. I do cook sometimes. I do cook. I do cook. It's such a wonderful time to be alive. I think it's a wonderful time to be alive. And it's a wonderful time to just regroup after the summer. As we come back, we're starting to think about, right, what's next for me? For those of us who have children who are still at school, the kids have gone back to school or are going back to school. For those of us who have kids who are of a certain age, some kids may be graduating. And we also might feel that maybe it's our time to graduate as well, right? It's never too late for us to say, It's my graduation season. There's so many pictures on Instagram in the last few weeks with kids graduating, some going off to college, some leaving college, some starting school, some leaving schools. We're all in different seasons of our life. But you know what I feel? I feel that as adults, once we start on the working journey, we often just stay where we are until it's retirement time. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? And sometimes oops, am I sharing my screen? Am I sharing my screen? Okay, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. But anyway, I'm back now. And so it's time for us to graduate ourselves. So I want to share something with you. I want to share a lot about what's been going on in terms of the journey. And I want to invite you. So I'm going to be speaking for the first kind of half of this time together. You may have noticed that we're not here for 4 hours like we were the last time, because this is a mini masterclass. I'm going to be speaking for the first half of it, and then I'm going to invite you to ask me questions of where you are. So use this for hot seat coaching, right? Let's call this hot seat coaching. Where are you in your journey? Where are you in your business? And how can I help? How can I help? Because let me share. For those who don't know, for 30 years I had a corporate career, and I had how do I put this? I had what you could call, I had a corporate career until I graduated myself. 4 years ago now, 4.5 years ago now. And since then, I've been building Ziano Mind Spa. And there have been different phases in the journey. And it's that journey I'd love to share with you, to see where you are in your journey, and perhaps to help you navigate your next steps along your journey, and add some value where, as much as I'm able to. Add some value as much as I'm able to. I do have one thing I'd like to show you, but we're not there yet. So what am I, sorry, bear with me. I have so many things going on. I like to teach as I learn. And my mission, if you haven't heard me say, is to go back and get the others. Go back and get the others. Yeah, exactly. We're all on this journey together. And so I'd like to share with you, first of all, my journey, then ask you to tell me where you are in your journey, if there's any read across from my journey to your journey, because this is your session. And then I will share some content of what I've been learning, and then turn it over to you to have you ask me questions. How does that work for you? Give me a yes. Thank you. So when I left my corporate role in January 2020, I first of all went on a journey of rediscovering myself. Does somebody have their hand up? If you have your hand up, I'm going to invite you to please put it down for now.
I think yours is up.
All right, I'm going to invite myself to put my hand down. Well, that was short and sweet, Alina. It's your hand, baby girl. Okay, that'll teach me. Check your own hand first, Emma. Check your own hand. I love it. Oh, thank God. God bless you, Alina. What would I do without you in my life? God bless you, I tell you. I don't know if I'm coming or going half the time without you. Anyway, so the first thing I did was after I stayed in bed for almost a week, just kind of in shock as to where I was. When I got up and finally took a shower and sorted myself out, I went on a journey of looking for me. Has anybody here been on such a journey of looking for you? Yeah, thank you. 2 hands up, Alina. Looking for you and asking yourself, who am I? And sometimes, who am I in this season of my life? Because I don't think we're obviously not lost, but we feel lost because we may be entering a season, a space, a time, a phase that we don't know. That's where I was. Who am I in this season of my life? Maybe more importantly, like I often ask, what do I want in this season of my life? That was the first phase. And I worked with some really great coaches to help me go on that journey and identify who this person is that is in Alina's world, evolving. So that was phase one. I realized now that for me, it's a 4-phase process. When I finish this story, I'm going to ask you to tell me where you are, if at all, in that process. So that was the phase 1 of 4. Who am I? What do I want? And I discovered that what I want is to go back to who I was actually when I was 5 years old, which is why I always talk about that 5-year-old girl, because I think that within all of us is a 3, 4, 5-year-old girl who knows who she is and what she wants. She's definitely not feeling an ounce of loss. She may be feeling a little bit of regret, a little bit of sadness, because she hasn't had her voice stretched, but she's not lost. She's still holding on to that dream. But I want to remind you also that she's full of nothing but forgiveness. Yes, she's sad, Lena, but she also forgives. She has no animosity. She just wants you to get on with it. Get on with it, because you don't know how much time you have left. So that was phase 1. Go back and find that girl. When I found her, I discovered that she has a voice. How many here know that they have a voice? How many of you know that you have a voice? Thank you. You have a voice. I don't know why I don't know why
Me too.
You too. I know you have a voice, my darling. I don't know why my hand keeps going up. Thank you, Faith. You have a voice. And let me ask you a second question. Do you think now is the time? No, let me ask it differently. Are you ready to give that voice a voice? Are you ready to give that voice a voice? I'm thinking the answer is no, because no one is answering me. Am I the only one who's ready? Thank you. You're getting ready. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Thank you, Alina. Thank you for your honesty and for your transparency. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yes, you're getting ready. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I was ready to give my voice a voice. And so when I finished with the first bunch of coaches I worked with to help me rediscover myself, my next lot of coaches were coaches who helped me to find my voice and find my message. In came Lisa Nichols. In came Les Brown. In came Andy Enriquez. In came Dr. Cheryl Wood. Find your voice and find your message. That was phase 2. Right behind that, or maybe I should say alongside that, probably not behind it, alongside that, you're getting ready to give your voice volume. Oh, me likey, me likey, me likey. If you don't mind me saying, I am touting myself here. I have no shame in saying I'm touting myself here. I would love to support you with giving your voice volume. I'm not gonna lie. There's something about you that I absolutely love. There's something about everyone here. There is something about you I absolutely love. So I have no shame in saying I would love to support you with that journey, Lorena. And I speak with nothing but sincerity when I say that. So I then first of all, I said behind that, but maybe not behind that. Alongside that was self-growth, self-worth. Why do I say this? We can learn all the tactics in the world. We can learn all the strategies in the world. If we don't feel that we're able, that voice is going nowhere. Fact. Fact. And that's why so many people that start transformation-based businesses start them off the back of personal growth, of personal development. Because it's when they're able to look at themselves in the mirror and say, boy, I have actually got it going on, that they find their voice. That they find their voice. It's hand in hand. It's hand in hand. So alongside the clarity of who I am, we don't rise to the level of our skills. Let me read that out. We fall to the level of our self-worth. Oh, facts. Facts. In the words of Jamie Kanlima, we don't rise to what we know we're capable of. And I'm sure I'm butchering this, but it's in this general zip code. We don't rise to what we're capable of. We fall to what we believe we're worthy of. Fact. So alongside that was personal growth, personal development. In came Bob Proctor. In came Dr. Miles Monroe. In came a whole host of other coaches for that part of the journey. Those, my ladies, were the first 3.5 years, from January 20, you could say 4 years, from January 2020 to January 2024. That's 4 years. And then it hits me, hang on, I need to turn this new purpose, this new identity, this new version, I don't want to say new version, this new discovery of who I am, to turn that into a business. Hashtag, if you are in the business of helping women find their purpose, I've just come off a mastermind call. I can guarantee you this. Please, the end result of what you're offering is not purpose. It is not purpose. It is not purpose. Why? When she finds her purpose, do you know what she's going to say next? Who has any idea what she'll say? Thank you, Alina. What's next? So what? Now what? In whatever words she uses, that will be the end result. Okay. If you're helping women or anybody, sorry, I work with primarily women, so I keep saying women. Please, when I say women, I'm talking of a person, any person. Don't hold me to it. If you're helping people discover their purpose, and also sometimes we use different words. We say purpose, we say clarity, we say self-discovery. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Let's not get too hung up on words. The end result is, so what? What am I going to do with this newfound thing that you've helped me to find? It may be a new career. It may be a new business. It may be another business. It may be writing a book. It may be launching a program. It may be delivering speeches. I'm going to offer you that even if it's writing a book or delivering speeches, even that has a so what. What do I mean? I wrote a book. Okay. You need to turn that into something that helps people. You know this, Lauren. The book is simply a junction on the journey. It's not the end of the journey. Right? Delivering a speech, you could even say it's not even a junction. It's literally just a set of traffic lights. There is always something after that. So the end result is to take people to the end of their destination. Discovering their purpose is the first part of the journey of that longer destination. It's not the end. She or he may choose to stay with you or not stay with you, and that's fine. The fact that you've been with them for a part of the journey is an honor and a privilege. Let them go. I have had, in terms of significant coaches, at least 6 significant. I don't just mean random programs here and there. Significant coaches who have touched my life, who I've worked with one-on-one. 6. And it's been fine, because everybody has a part of the journey. No one person has the entire journey, and that's fine. The final phase in my journey was then, okay, now that I have found this thing, help me put some real legs on it and turn it into a business. And that's where I am now. In comes Eileen Wilder, right? Take my clarity, take my purpose, take my newfound self-worth, package it, go sell it in the market. Yeah. I see you're tracking, Alina. Who's tracking? Who else is tracking? Who can see this journey? Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to be quiet very soon. And I'd love to hear from you where you are, perhaps in that journey, or maybe you have your own journey. But before I stop, I want to say there is no shame in where you are. There is no shame in your journey. Every part of the journey is significant and it builds on the other. If I had met Eileen Wilder when I walked out of corporate 4 years ago, I wouldn't have had a clue what this woman was talking about. I wouldn't have been able to. I would say, I recognize your words are English. I know the words as standalone words in the English language. I don't know them in a string, the way you just put them. They make no sense to me, because I wasn't in that space. But I'm there now. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to ask for some takeaways from what I've just shared, and for perhaps you to share very, very briefly, 1 minute each, of where you are in your journey. And this may start to help you to think of some questions you may wish to ask when we turn over and it's your turn to ask me questions. So who'd like to go first? Takeaways. Where are you in your journey? Maybe you haven't even started your journey, and that's fine. Ideally, I'd love for you to have started your journey. Otherwise, I'm not sure that you're in the right room. But even if you haven't, if you know that there is a journey, you're already in the right room. Who'd like to go first? I was just about to say, if you don't put your hand up, I'll pick on you, Lorena. You did. All right, my darling, please go. Thank you.
Well, for me, guys, good morning and good evening to you all. I am Lorena Belcher. I am a coach, author, and sometimes a speaker. So where I am right now is I am doing educational consulting to seed my business, partially, and I'm looking for grants as well. But I really want to focus just on one of those areas. And I'm working on a book based on boundaries, and it's going to become a series. However, I just want to incorporate that book into a coaching program.
I love that. Incorporate your book. Sorry, please carry on.
No. I was just saying, and where I am right now is at the very beginning of creating some systems, automation, getting the website completed so that people know who I am, getting it out there in a way that people, once I introduce myself to you or have other offerings, you can continue to find me. I can send you emails. So all of the systems work right now is where I am. I feel like I'm at where I'm pausing to do that. And so right now I'm just focusing on giving lots of free content. So that's my focus right now, just to give free content so that within the next 30 days, I can have a website. automations, things like that.
That's cool. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you. If it's okay with you, I won't respond. I won't share any thoughts at this stage. I'll share.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Give it up for Lorena, who went first. It's not easy to go first. Thank you, my darling.
Go first.
Go first. I'll go first. I'll go first. I'll go first. Alina.
Good evening, beautiful, beautiful ladies. Good evening. And good morning, Lorena. Good morning. Thank you for sharing. So I normally go first, and then, sometimes I just think, just don't put your hand up. Don't put your hand up. So, where I am first of all, Anna, thank you for this session. Really, really grateful to be here. Valuable from the minute it started. And thank you for sharing your journey with us, because it's not, I'm in part 2, I would say, at the moment. I'm going through my own transformation, because as you always say, only transform people can transform others. And for those of you who probably don't know me, I'm Alina Robinson, and I'm a personal growth coach. And so I want to help and guide people to get in touch with the essence of who they are, and to get in touch with what do they really want and the meaning of their life, and to create a life that feels good for them, not just looks good from the outside. And I do believe that this is my journey. I didn't know what I want until I went back to find that girl and to get in touch with that girl and to get in touch with the essence of who she is. And there's a lot of healing to do. There's a lot of work on self-worth. There's a lot of layers that need to heal, need to peel, need to dissolve. And so I'm just throwing myself in the work at the moment. And I'm looking at also creating a program. But I'm struggling with the website design and content and all that, because we do need content, and that's the truth. If you want to put legs on it, you need content, and you need to get out there and find your voice. So that's where I am at the moment, and I'm here to learn, here to grow, and I stay open.
Thank you. Thank you. Give it up for Alina. Alina, thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I said to, hey, Faith, we see your beautiful, beautiful face now. I said to Lorena that I wouldn't give any comments. I'm telling you, it's hard for me because, I talk a lot. And what you said, I'm like literally like holding my breath. Don't, Lorena, don't laugh at me. I'm like, don't speak. But I would like to pick up on something that you both said in the second half. Yeah, thank you for that. There's a lot I have to say. There's a lot. Thank you
for that. That's why we're here.
Who'd like to go next? Please don't be shy. Just share any takeaways. Chinny, I knew you would. Thank you, my darling. You've very quickly become a reliable face at Ziano Mindspa. Hello, my darling. Over to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. And Anyway, and then thank you for sharing this. I think, going through those phases made a lot of sense as well. Like, when you were saying, I was like, oh, I see, because even today, earlier on, I was just, battling with so many things in my mind and everything. And I also want to say thank you to Lorena and Alina for sharing that as well, their stories. So for me, I would say I'm actually in phase two as well. So yes, trying to craft that message and, clarify and all of that. So I think that's the point, where I am. So I'm actually a domestic abuse survivor. I was in a marriage while I was in Nigeria prior to coming to the UK. And that marriage actually broke up and all of that, right? So, but at the time when it happened, because of the society I found myself, I faced a lot of, stigma, shame. There were just so many things. Okay, but the way I was able to navigate all of that, and I'm where I am today, right? So I felt that, that experience I had didn't just happen to me, but it happened for me as well. Like anyone always say, you need to go back as well and get orders. So basically, what I'm looking at is, rebuilding your life and living a purposeful life, even after going through, such an experience, right? So I'm at the point where I'm trying to, clarify all that message and all of that, So for me, I would say is actually, phase two. And honestly, I didn't even realize that till you actually shared this, this story. And I was like, oh, I see, so probably this is the phase where I am. So thank you so much. And thank you for this space, to share all these things.
Chinwe. Give it up for Chinwe. Thank you, Chinwe. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your transparency and your vulnerability. I didn't know that you were a domestic abuse survivor. I have seen some of your posts on social media, but I didn't want to make assumptions because the fact that someone is passionate about something doesn't mean that they've actually gone through it. So I didn't want to make assumptions. But here's what I have to say. Nothing that you've been through, which you yourself just said, nothing you've been through happened to you by accident. And there is so much value and growth and impact that that story can be used to help other people, as you yourself know. So I think it's so important, so imperative. I'm glad that you are on the journey. I'm glad that you are self-aware. I'm glad that you understand the responsibility because it comes with a heavy responsibility. But there's so many people, both men and women, to be honest, who would find so much value from your experience, Chinwe. So I want to encourage you to absolutely learn how to craft your story and then learn how to deliver it. So there are three. There's actually more than three, but in terms of your story, there's clarifying your story, clarify your story, craft your story, and then communicate your story. Clarify, craft, communicate your story. And then create an invitation to bring people to go on a journey with you if they want to get to the other side of that story, other side of that journey. One thing I'm going to say here, because I want to piggyback off what Alina said and tie it in what you said, because I don't want to lose this moment, is for a lot of us, those of us who have been through something that is traumatic and that we need to heal from. And I'm going to say this with a lot of love. We have a tendency to want to give it away for free. I'm going to beg of you not to do that. I'm also going to beg of you to be mindful of your language. What do I mean? A lot of people who come from a trauma, no, I don't want to even use the word. A lot of people who come from a background that they need, that needs healing, come from such a deep sadness that you might not be able to help them. Just know your limits. And I say that with love. Know your limits. You're not a therapist. You're not a psychologist. You're not a counselor, unless, of course, you are. And be mindful that you're not taken back down. Be mindful that you're not taken back down, because there can be a real emotional drain. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine. If you're equipped and you're a trained counselor or therapist, then that's your job. If you're not, there's a difference between being a therapist, being a counselor, and being a coach. There's a big difference, and we shouldn't mix up the two. We shouldn't mix up the two. So whilst we want to go back and get the others, be mindful that the others that you're going back for are others who are saying, help me, and not those who are saying, oh, some people cannot be helped by you. They're not ready for you. They first of all need somebody else before they get to you. I say that with a lot of love, but know your limits and help people who are helpable. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you, Chini. I hope you have questions later on. I'd love to guide you. And then, I want to say something else. In terms of crafting a program, I think everyone so far has mentioned program. Lorena mentioned program, Alina mentioned program. I think, did you mention program? Chinwe, did you mention program? No, I don't think you did. No, you didn't.
No.
Okay. For Alina and Lorena who want to do programs, I'm going to touch a little bit on programs today. I'll touch a little bit on programs. We can't go into too much detail, but I will touch on programs because that's the business side of things. That's then taking it and then putting it in a container. And that container is a program. How you deliver the program is simply the vehicle. So whether you do it via workshops, via retreats, via like this, via virtual sessions, via live events, however, that's simply the vehicle, but the program is the program is the program. And it's taking people on a journey. Alina, I'm going to answer you really quickly. You said you don't know the content. The content of your program is literally, I told you about my journey. I said I had to clarify who I was. I said I had to learn how to speak. I said I did personal development, and I said now I'm doing is business. That's my program. That's my program. You take your pillars and you create a journey. That's the program. I'll share that much with you. That's my program. Yeah? All right. Next, thank you. Was that helpful, Alina? Was that helpful? Cool. And I'll share a little bit more about that in a second, actually. Who would like to go next? Feedback, comments? Where are you? Teach what you know. Yes, exactly. Teach what you know. Exactly.
I can go next.
Hello, Faith.
Hi. So, actually, I don't know where I am in my journey. I'm just navigating, I'm going with the flow of life. So, I recently wrote a book of poetry, and I've had positive feedback on it. But I know that I'm meant to do more, but I'm not quite sure what's, because everybody keep asking, now that you've done this, what next? I want to take my time. I want to, so at the moment I'm doing little posts on Instagram, but, I don't know if it's the right thing or not, because a lot of the times, I don't like the way I sound anyway. And I'm always very conscious about that. Oh my God, how will people see me? And, all that type of stuff. But so far, so good. I can't complain. What I'm hoping to do is some, not podcast, not quite yet, but I'm going to do some live streaming and, talking to people, just kind of like interviewing people or them interviewing me. and see how that goes before I go on to the next phase. But I'm not sitting still. Everything I'm doing is out of my comfort zone. But for me, the biggest achievement, and I'm so, so happy that I was able to do it, because, for the past few years, I was really, really unhappy that there was something I wanted to say and I couldn't say it. But now I've actually said it, and I'm so happy because it's really changed my perspective. It's changed the way I am as a person. I mean, I've always been a good person. I'm just a bit quiet, but it's changed the type of person I am, and I'm just really excited of what is to come, because even, with me, I can see me growing every time, and I just feel like we shouldn't limit ourselves. If we have something to, if we have a purpose or we have a mission, we should always carry it out. And yeah, and just live your truth. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this community, NA, because I know you haven't coached me directly, but the messages you share coming to, Dubai, and coming to some of your retreats as well has really helped. Seeing you on Fela Durotoye's platform, all those things has helped towards my journey, as well as listening to, before I started this, I used to listen to Anthony Robbins and, all those people, and everything is kind of combined, nicely to take me to where I am today. And I'm so grateful, honestly, for the part that you've played in, and, everybody within the community as well that I know, because I feel like they are friends for life or a community for life, and that's me really. I don't want to talk too much because I tend to, go over the top sometimes. So, but thank you for listening, everyone. Oh, I'm Faith.
Thank you, Faith. Yeah, let's give it up for Faith. Thank you, Faith. Congratulations on your book. That was not insignificant, Faith. That's huge. That's huge. And you have come such a long way from when we first met, Faith. Even coming to Dubai on the first retreat was such a, well, it took you well out of your comfort zone, and it was clear, and that's what made it so beautiful to watch, that you did that. You stayed in the community, you've invested in yourself, in your growth, and you still continue to do so. So I really want to celebrate you for that. I am going to coach you a little bit though. I know I said I would, but I can't stop myself. I am going to coach you a little bit. Lorena was like, I knew it wouldn't last long. I knew it wouldn't last long. I am going to coach you a little bit, Faith. I'm really going to invite you to be mindful of your words that you say to yourself about yourself. You're not any of those things you said. I don't even remember what you said, but you're not any of those things. What you are is a beautiful woman who is on the journey. You are figuring it out. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're not this and you're not that. You are on your journey and you're figuring it all out. You're a woman who has stepped out of her comfort zone twice that I know of. So that's lots more times that I am not aware of. You're a woman who has written her first book. And I have to say, Faith, it didn't take you long. It was at the seminar, if I'm not mistaken, the Ziano Mindspa seminar we had at the Landmark in November of last year, when you said, I'm going to do this thing. And you published your book, 6 months later. That's not insignificant. Exactly, Lorena. Come on, give it up for Faith. No, you are so on the path, you're on your journey, you are growing, you're learning, you're developing, you're taking a chance on yourself. Come on, Faith. Come on, Faith. You've got it going on. I would love to see you create something. As you said, people are asking you what's next. I would love to see you create something next. I don't know what you're thinking of. I don't know if it's a course, a book, another book. I don't know, but I would love to see you, because the book is just let me tell you, and I don't want to use the word just. That's sorry. Please forgive me for saying that. The book is the first step. The book is the first step. It's not the end of the road. No way is anyone's book the end of the road. The book is an introduction. Let me tell you something about my book that messed with me. You may have heard me say this before. When I wrote my book, my husband, every time he went out, would take dozens of my book in his car and give them to people. Literally everywhere he went, give my book to people. Have you read my wife's book? 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 And I was like, dude, what do you think you're doing? Why are you taking my books and giving them away for free? I can't tell you the doors that book has opened by giving them away for free. Yes, Lorena, by giving them away for free. What's my point? The book is just, it's almost like a business card. You know how we used to give out business cards before? That's what a book is. Somebody read my book. Somebody that works at Goldman Sachs and invited me to speak at the Goldman Sachs Black History Month event. When I told people I was speaking at Goldman Sachs, they thought it was because I used to work at Goldman Sachs a billion years ago. It had nothing to do with me. My husband gave the MD of Goldman Sachs my book and invited me to speak. The first time I spoke for free, then invited me to speak again. And this time I was paid off the back of a free book. Give the book away. It's a business card. Obviously, strategically, don't just give the book to anybody. Be strategic, but give it to people who you think may be able to that leverage, not just because you're being manipulative, but be sensible. Be sensible. But the book is your first step. And then they're going to call you and say, what's next? Well, what's next? So that's my invitation to you, to allow what's next. Don't rush it. Don't get yourself all hung up and stressed out about it. But just invite it in. Invite what's next to come and find you. Just invite it in. What's next? How can I leverage not just my book, but more importantly, my expertise, my talents, my natural God-given gifts? How can I leverage those beyond this physical book? And before I move on to Sen, I will say that you are a member of the community that I feel I know the least. I feel I don't know Faith. But we're obviously doing something right because Faith keeps coming back. So we're obviously not doing something too wrong. But I'm gonna share here with everybody. I'm just gonna be totally transparent. I invited Faith to come to, that's what I mean. I personally reached out to Faith to invite Faith to come to Marrakesh, but Faith is unable to come. But that's how much you mean to us. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Faith. Thank you. Thank you. Senada!
Hi, greetings, everybody. How are you all today? Right, my journey. So the first thing I did is while I was exploring what I want to become, like Anna. So last year I have decided as well, and one of my dreams and goals was to write and hold my dream in my hands, which was my book. So the book I published, it's called Overcoming Hardship, which was published a year ago. So I've been through a lot in my life as well. You know, I survived the war as a child in Bosnia because my origins are from Bosnia, but I live all my life in UK and many things. Yeah, so I overcome many things thanks to our Lord. And I was working a journey to find out myself again. Because throughout this life and corporate working for companies, yes, I had a money, but I was not happy inside. I was not me. I was a lost girl. So I was first trying to find new me, my happy me. And then I was discovering my journey and what's my next chapter in my life. So I've written first my book. The second thing I did, I saw Energy had an event in London. And that attracted me for some reason. And I had that time as well health issues, and I didn't know whether am I going to be able to attend that. And I don't know how long you guys following, and have I been following, and in a long time. So it was called My Next Chapter. So when I walked in, the God made a way that I come to that event. And when I came, we had a booklet like My Next Chapter. So when I sat on that chair and I just looked what's in front of me, and it was like this, listening everybody at that event, and it was very quiet. And when then Anna came up to my name, she said, "Have I found me?" So all I said to her, I know the God wanted me to be here, and my next chapter is to be here, and my next chapter is with you and with all of you here. That was my answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you, Sen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was amazing experience, and what I want to tell people who hasn't been to events or I don't know where you all located, because I only know Alina's in London and Anna's in London. It was amazing experience.
Everyone here has, apart from Chinwe. In fact,
okay.
Lorena came with us to Lake Como. Faith came with me to Dubai. Alina's been to both Lake Como and Dubai. Everyone has, apart from Chinwe, and I'm sure Chinwe will come soon. Thank you. I'm going to ask us to carry on because we have a lot to. I want to share something with you, and this is actually the main. I want to teach on this before I hand it over to you. Because of time, I'm going to ask us to carry.
Okay.
Thank you, Sen, darling. Thank you. I appreciate you, sweet girl. I appreciate you. Okay, let me share my screen and let me show you this. This is what I want to share with you. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So this is a ladder showing the 4 levels of value. We can actually talk about this slide for the next 4 hours. We won't. We're going to start from the first leg in the journey, step 1, and we're going to work to the top. The first level of value of humans, us, is implementation. What does that mean? Those are people who work with their hands. These are people who work with their hands. And in general, they work per hour. They work with their hands. Think of hairdressers, contractors, as in house contractors, plumbers, electricians. Think of anybody who works with their hands. There's a physical limit to how much they can earn and how much value they can deliver to the world, because there's only one person. If they're lucky, they have two hands, and they are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how much your hairdresser charges, she can only have so many people in her chair per hour. This is the lowest level of value. For some of us, we're now told, oh, rise up above that and become the manager of such people. So then we step up to unification. So now I'm the manager. I'm the manager of the hair salon. I'm the manager of the contracting firm. I'm the manager of this business full of electricians. I'm the manager of, but you are literally, you yourself are still that, but you're now managing people at that level. Now, I don't know about you, but I have managed people in my life. And that has got to be the worst job I have ever done, managing people. It's tough. But here's the thing. There's still only a peak, a level that you can reach, because you're still trading dollars for hours. Or in our case, excuse us, Lorena, pounds for hours. So the first two, there's a cap to your value and therefore to your resources. And then we move on to step 3 if we're lucky. And that's the step I would love to take everybody on this call onto if you're not there already. And that is communication. Here we're talking about actors, singers, speakers, presidents, prime ministers. These are people who use their voice to create movements, to create value. Not only are they much better paid financially, but they're also of a higher value. They're the ones who hire and pay the people at levels 1 and 2. That's why you have a hairdresser saying things like, I want to create a training program. Can you see and train other hairdressers? That's a smart hairdresser who's figured it out. Hang on, as long as I'm trading my hands per hour, there's a cap on my value and on my worth and on my ability to earn. But if I train other hairdressers through the gift of my voice and of course my hands, hello, there's so much more I can offer the world. That's level 3. And then at level 4, you have people like, whether you like them or not, this is not, we're not going to judge people. But we're looking at people like Elon Musk. We're looking at Mark Zuckerberg. We're looking at people who dream on what the world could look like, and then they dare to go and make it happen. Disney died before Disneyland. There, exactly. Disney died before Disneyland was finished. And at his funeral, somebody said to his wife, oh, it's a shame that he's not here to see this. And her response was, oh, it's because he saw it that we're here. He saw it. He saw it. imagination. These are the people, ladies, that we talk about. These are the people that we talk about. I want to tease you. With your permission, I want to tease you and ask you, who's going to talk about you? What are you imagining? And will you dare? And let me say, you cannot imagine and you cannot deliver without communication. Communication is non-negotiable. It is non-negotiable. Let me say it for those at the back. Communication is non-negotiable. For a lot of us, we play too long at levels 1 and 2. No disrespect. Yeah, no disrespect, but there's only so much you can deliver at level 1 and 2. If you want to deliver more, you have to rise higher than level 1 and 2. You'll have to go to the communication phase and speak and use your voice. Oprah, those are the communicators, right? Michelle Obama, Maya Angelou, the people.
And Obi.
Hey, okay. Alida Robinson, the people we quote. God bless you for that, my darling. And you, I throw it right back at you. The people we quote. Who will quote you? Who will mention your name? That's my question to you today. Who will mention your name? If you want your name to be mentioned, if you don't, then it's fine. But I'm going to tell you something. I want my name to be mentioned. I have a question for you. Do you want your name to be mentioned? Yes. Yes, Chinny. Yes. So I'm going to say this to you, Chinny, with all due respect. How dare you, after what you've been through in that marriage and with your dream for your name to be mentioned, how dare you not go out there and get your name mentioned? How dare you? You've come prepackaged with a story. You've come prepackaged with something you've been through. How can we not use that, Chinwe? Lorena, do you want your name to be mentioned? We've lost Lorena. Her name's already been mentioned. She's like, I'm gone. She's like, I'm going to get my name mentioned. We need to have fun at the spa, girls. But do you see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To be mentioned. Absolutely. And not in a braggadocious way, but I can't be quiet. I have to be impactful, because why not me?
Why not you? I love that.
And everything that
could be impactful, because why not me? Please carry on, my darling.
And everything that happened for me, not to me,
or
for others.
For others.
Not for me to hold on to. And Chinwe, I've been that path as well. So please give us your voice.
I love it. The power of a story. But what if Chinwe had come in here and not shared that story? She wouldn't have found a kindred spirit in Lorena. She wouldn't have. That's the power of community. I'm going to say this to you, ladies. I don't care whether it's Zion or Mind Spa. I have had so much personal development work thrown at me. My ego has been squashed and squashed and squashed some more. I don't care whether it's Zion or Mind Spa, but find yourself a community and go in there and grow in there. Please. Please, you deserve it. You need it for your own growth. If Chinwe hadn't shared that story, how would Lorena have said to her, I see you, I hear you, I am you? I'm going to say something completely transparently, and you may say, I don't know how we're even going there, but I'm going to say it. I work with people. I don't work for free, and I'm not cheap. So I may not be the right coach for you. I have spent too much time and too much money on my own development for me to give it away for free. So I'm not cheap. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And my current coach has helped me to see that there's nothing cheap about me. So I'm not cheap, but I don't care as Yano Mind Spa because it's not for everybody. But I do care that you find a place that's for you. I do care that much. Find a place that's for you. And grow and dare and get to that place. Take your dream with you and don't you dare stop. Don't you dare stop. To be honest, I call this meeting just to, that's really my message. My work here is done. That was my message. But I did want to share that with you. I wanted to share with you that I spent 2 glorious days with a beautiful community of masterminders in Vegas, and the power is in the room. The growth is in the room. Get in the room. Get in the room. You need a room. And here's another thing I'm going to say. Don't just get in the room. Guess what, ladies? Create your own room. Create your own room. People that work with me, that's my dream, to help them create their own room. I'm going to share one final story before I open it up to Q&A. And if you need to go at 8:30 for us, Lorena, I haven't even got I don't know what time it is for you. I know you're 8 hours behind, but I can't do the maths right now. Forgive me. 10:30, what time is it for you?
It's little afternoon, 12:10.
I bet, of course, it's simple. It's 8 hours behind is 12. Duh. Anyway. Alina, don't you dare laugh at me.
I'm laughing with you.
No, you're not. You were laughing at me. I saw you were like, what? You were like, look at this. You're like, look at this. This was a mess. I saw it in your eyes. Oh, I tell you. Oh dear, I'm not even going to apologize. I am. Anyway, so here's the thing. I don't know where I was with this story. You may have heard me share this story before. In 2021, I was on a call like this, but it was a one-to-one call with me and Lisa Nichols. And she said to me, it was July 21. And she said to me in September, so 2 months later, I'm hosting a retreat and there's one spot left. Would you like it? It's for my inner circle, she said. And I didn't even wait to hear to the end. I said, don't be silly. Just tell me what date I need to be in Nassau. It was in Nassau, Bahamas. I went to Nassau, Bahamas. I'd never been on a retreat before. I didn't know what to expect. I was the only non-American in the room. I didn't understand some of the jokes. I didn't understand some of the analogies because the stories that we don't have here. They were talking about programs in the US. I didn't grow up in the US. I don't know what they were watching when they were 6 years old. But that was completely besides the point. I didn't know why I went to Nassau, Bahamas. It's a, I don't know, 12-hour flight from London. I didn't know why I went until I came back and I knew why I went. That was part of my journey because at the end of the 7 days in Nassau, I said to Lisa, I want to take women on journeys, both external and internal, that you've just taken us through. Lorena, when I got on that flight here at London Heathrow, I didn't know why I was investing that amount of money, not just for the retreat, but for the flight. And it was a Lisa Nichols retreat. It wasn't what I charge. I can tell you that. I can tell you that for free. But when I came back, I knew why I went. I needed to experience that to find my next chapter. My invitation to you is to say yes to as many things as you possibly can, even if you don't know what is around the corner. If you can, say yes and trust the process. You don't know. People say to me, what did you learn at Lisa's retreat? I'm like, I can't even explain to you. I found out what I want to do with my life. I don't care what Lisa taught us. I don't know what Lisa taught us. All I know is I found out that I mean, I don't know what she said. All I know is what she said. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this for people. And that's why I do workshops, and that's why I do retreats. I'm now being serious. So for those who said they don't know what's next, I invite you to be open. Invite what's next to find you. Invite it in. Because here's the thing, whatever you're meant to do with your life, whatever your dream is, that thing is also looking for you. That your dream is looking for you. And guess what else, ladies? Your dream needs you more than you need your dream. Your dream needs you more than you need your dream. Why? It needs you to fulfill it. It needs you to give it life. Without you, it dies. Without you, your dream dies. I was in New York. I was in a hotel, and I got an email saying, would you like to speak to this very mastermind that I was with in Vegas? I was invited to speak to them, I don't know, a week before we went to Vegas, completely unrelated. We had a meeting. They said, can you come and speak to us? And I said, I have nothing. I'm on vacation. I have nothing. But I said, well, I'm coming. I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak. Guess what? That meeting has led to 3 other meetings that I can't share more on right now because they're still evolving. Yeah, thank you, Lorena. What's my point? Just say yes. Just say yes. And I'll share something else with you. The feedback was that it has so far been the most impactful session of the entire year. The entire year, Alina. Without my lights, thank you, ladies. Thank you. Without my lights, without a mic, without proper prep, without this, without this, without this, without this, what's my point? Your heart knows what it wants to say. The reason you think you're not prepared is because your head is telling you you're not prepared. Your head needs to prepare. Your heart doesn't. Your heart has come to life prepared. But your head, your ego is saying, what do you know? What's my content? I need systems. Yes, I am talking to you, Lorena. Yes, I'm now touching on toes. I know it, and it's fine. Because I'm also touching on my toes. We didn't come to this life needing systems. We didn't come to this life needing content. Your life is the content. Yes, you may need to organize it so it streamlines and makes sense, but your life is the content. You can't have lived up to 5 years and you don't have content. Even a 5-year-old has content. That time I pulled in my pants when I was 3 years old, let me tell you, that's content. I'm serious, Lorena. Alina, why do you keep laughing at me? That's content. But seriously, girls, am I right? Right? We have content. And, oh, there's something else that Chinwe picked up on last time because she was listening. You only need to be one step ahead. The content you have right now is enough for the person who's one step behind. Don't worry about tomorrow's content. You don't need it yet. You use today's content. Use today's content. Because where you're going to is not where you are. That's my rant over. Chinwe. Woo! Thank you. I let that out. I let that out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies, I'm now going to ask, do you have any questions for me? There's no question off limits. We're in a safe space. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There are no questions off limits at all. If you have a question, I invite you to ask it now. Alina, my darling. Yes.
So thank you for all that. You always remind us about the dream, and the dream needs oxygen to survive, and we need to give it oxygen. And what I meant about the content is, like you also said, it's how you deliver it. So it's clear to your people, because you're speaking to your people. You won't speak to most of the people. Your people will hear you, right? So it's just being mindful of how we deliver our content. When I say content, is your life story and what you have and what you've been through.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's where I am. I'm very mindful,
Yeah.
not because, and I'll share where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of my people, my person is already confused, because I've been there. So if I give it a content that is confusing, or she doesn't, or he doesn't understand it, it's just going to make it even worse.
Yeah.
So it's going to switch off. And I don't want to be like, you know how you mentioned that you wouldn't be able to understand 4 or 5 years ago what you've understood right? It's the same thing. So it's really been, like you said, mind your language. So I'm working through that at the moment, and I'm developing that. And I think for me, you've helped me. You've touched on just teach what you know.
Yeah.
You go back to basics, right? But it's just
clean
it up and deliver it.
Yeah. Thank you, Alina. Thank you for that vulnerable moment, and also for that pushback. I'm going to push back even further, if that's okay. I'm going to push back even further and say, even waiting for clarity is still delay. Why? Clarity comes in action. Right? Clarity comes in action. As long as we're waiting for how do I clarify my content and speak the right language, with all due respect, my darling, it's not likely to happen. The only way to speak the right language is to speak a language. Speak a language, and then the right language will find you. There's nobody I know in this industry who ever feels that they have it all down. There's nobody. I'm in a mastermind with people who make 6 figures a day. Through an event like this. Through an event like this, they make 6 figures. And we're still clarifying language. So I want to tell you, whether it's language, whether it's systems, and I'm also speaking to myself, because for a long time, my language held me back. My end result held me back. So I'm not just talking to you. I'm not kind of picking at you. This is for everybody here. Whatever it is that's holding you back is from here. And you're not going to confuse people any further. Guess why? Because they're already confused. If you confuse them, they're just going to move on. Because they're already confused. But there's something called my sheep hear my voice. It's not about having the right words. It's about speaking from your heart. And let me tell you, when you speak from your heart, you don't need the right words. Why? Because even the wrong words will work. And I say that in all seriousness. I could have said anything to you, Alina, and you weren't going to go anywhere.
No.
Fact. And
In fact, in fact, like you said about Lisa Nichols' retreat, right? It's like I don't remember everything that you said to me, but whatever you said to me and coaching with you 3 years ago,
that was that.
That was to find what I want to do in my life and heal as well, because you've helped me unpack so much from my past, if you remember. Yeah, and resentment was letting go of resentment was big for me. So yeah, it's got to start somewhere. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's it. Is we've got to start somewhere. That's exactly. We've got to start somewhere. If I had waited, I mean, now I have this big dream to help women create retreats and workshops and their programs and put them in. But even a year ago, I wasn't using this kind of language. I didn't know it, Alina. But it didn't stop me. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I get the point now. Yeah,
and let me tell you something else. And I don't want this to put you off, but I just want to be honest with you. Even when you cross this, thank you for that. Even when you cross this junction, you're simply going to meet another junction ahead. This is not the end. That's it, Lorena. That's it. Every time you have one breakthrough, there's another one immediately behind. Fact.
I hope so.
Exactly. Thank you.
I really hope so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my point, Alina, is there's only more on clarity.
Get to the junction. Get to
and move. Even if you turn left, if you're supposed to turn right, the minute you turn left, you'll be like, okay, I wasn't supposed to do this. Yeah, let me make a U-turn.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, you know I love to drive, so I can do that. Yeah.
Alina's all about making U-turns. Hey, U-turn, Alina. That's it, my
So
darling.
no more on amber, just go.
Just go.
Yeah, no more on amber, because I sort of passed red. I'm on amber now, and I'm like vibrating there. And it's like, yeah.
Don't put yourself on
thank
amber.
you for that.
Don't put yourself on amber. Don't put yourself on amber.
No, thank you for that. It's helpful. It's very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you for receiving it. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, hot seat culture. Anybody else? Anybody else there? Anybody else is as brave as Alina? It shows bravery, right? Alina's brave. Yeah, it's bravery. It's bravery. Sen. Hello, my darling. Over to you. What's your question? Are you muted? You're still muted. You're muted.
Right. My question is, I recently published my second book, which is called How to Be Successful. And I have so many ideas what to do next, but I am a bit confused. And also with this book, I also have on Amazon now available just recently as well, How to Be Successful Journal. I got so many ideas, but I am confused from this point of view, which way to go next and what's my next chapter in it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I can understand the frustration. I can. Thank you for that. So I think, Sen, that you think you're confused. Let me explain. Let me explain. It's back to what we just said. Deep down, you know what you want. I'm going to invite you to just write it all down. What are the things you want? Write them down. Write them down. If there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, write them down. Just write all the different options, choices, decisions that you need to make.
Mm-hmm.
And then think, Which one will I regret the most if I don't do it? It's a bit like, the answer is actually the same as Alina's answer. It's Alina's question. If you turn left, you can always turn back right if you discover right was the way to go. But you do need to make a turn. You need to make a decision. You do need to make a decision. What is your ultimate goal? Maybe that's what you should ask yourself. What do I really want? What's my ultimate goal here? Is my goal to do a program? Is my goal to do a course? And I'm going to use this opportunity, #ladies, please don't do courses. Do a program. Don't do a course, do a program. Back to you, Sen. Is my goal to do a program? If so, who is it for? What are the outcomes? I'm going to pause. I'm going to invite you to pause on the books right now and leverage. What's the difference? I'll answer the question. Good question, Chinwe. I'll answer. Pause on the books right now and leverage them. Leverage them. You may be able to do something like, and I'm just thinking aloud, I'm not even sure if this is what you want to do. Start holding book clubs where you talk about them. Hold events where you share about your book, where you teach about your book, so you can start to gather, create your community. Right, so the question I would ask you is, how can you leverage what you've done so far, your 3 books? How can you leverage them? Right? And I'm going to invite everybody here, I'm going to invite you to start to build your own community. Start to build your own community. And if you have 3 people, there's no shame in having 3 people. You can't have 30 if you don't first have 3. You can't have 300 if you don't have 30. Right? You see how many people are here today. There's no shame. Start to build your community using your books. You can invite people to book clubs in your house and share from your book and teach from your book and teach from other books, and then use the message in the book to start to pull people who want to hear that message. Right? And then use that as your first ladder to then putting out a program. Something else I'm going to invite everybody here to do, which is truly valuable. This is for everybody. Research people who are doing the thing that you want to do in your industry and follow their path. Success leaves clues. So Sam, that will be my thing for you. What do you really want? Write down everything you want, identify which one you really want, pick one, and just start to move with it. And it's all roads. This is a case of all. I'm not sure if everybody heard this when we were young. Remember that quote? All roads lead to Rome. There was a quote when we were younger. Yes, Lorena, all roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Just take a road and you will get to Rome. You may take a longer route, but you're going to get to Rome eventually. So I say, Sen, like I said to Faith, I'm going to invite you to not tell yourself that you're confused, not tell yourself that you don't know what to do, but say to yourself, I am figuring it out. And whatever I do will lead me one step towards where I need to be. Pick a step and do it. And allow yourself to dream. Don't be scared of dreaming. Sometimes we're scared of dreaming. Sometimes we've been so beaten down by life that we forget how to dream. Does that help?
Yeah, what I was going to say, I'm already taking these steps because I'm creating my own events, which I'm going to start doing again, through the Quiz libraries like I used to do. And the second thing I am doing, and it's creating my own empowering, my own community group, where I took the challenge to create my own policy. So I'm in process of that, and that's a bit longer road, but I don't want to give up. And because all this, it needs to be by approved, by government and all that. So I'm
Yeah.
taking already these steps and road, and I dare to dream and I dare to take the journey. And I always say, if I have a dream, even if I fail first time or second, I am the person which will never give up. I'll
Yeah.
make it third or fourth time. And when they say when one door closes, 10
Yeah.
doors will open for me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that additional piece of information. Anything to do with the government will take is a low, slow burn. Low, slow burn, and that's fine. So leave it on the back burner and kickstart something else here that's on the fast burner. Build your community. Now, here's the thing. We shouldn't be scared of slow burn. Don't be scared of slow burn. As long as it's burning, let it burn. I have invested money that could buy a house in London. Not in I don't know, Bradford, in London. I've invested that amount of money on my journey. Have I gotten even a tenth of it back? No, but it's a slow burn.
You will at the end.
It's a slow burn. Nobody gets to Rome overnight. Stay on the
I
journey.
agree.
Stay on
I
the
agree.
Stay on the journey. Sometimes I drive past houses and I think I could have bought that house with the money I spent on myself. Lorena, I'm serious. I could have bought that house with the money I spent on myself.
But let me tell you something, Anna. If you bought that house, right? That would just make you temporarily happy. It's like
Not
when we have.
necessarily. No, I would have a house. I would have a house. But that's not even the point. I have no regrets. I'm not even suggesting I have regrets. Please don't get wrong. I have no regrets. I've done everything I've done with pure joy. My point is, everyone has a price to pay. That's just the point I'm making. There is no ease, and that's why when people say to me, how much do you charge? And I say the amount, I say it and I walk away. I have nothing to explain. I've got no apologies to make. I'm like, Dad, if you knew what I've invested, you'd be grateful to take this price from me, right? So I'm not saying that in any way to be like, oh, I regret or look what. No. I'm simply saying it's a slow burn, and we're all going to pay the price of the burn or receive the reward of the burn, you know? Bob Proctor, no, it wasn't Bob Proctor, it was one of his partners, John Canary, said, there's a season to sow and there's a season to reap, but we don't do both in the same season. So my invitation to you, Sen, is to stay on the journey. I know you are. I know you accept invitations. I know you're not lazy. I know you are very much invested in this. The season will come. Take opportunities and follow people who are where you want to be and model them. That will be the single biggest piece of advice I will give you. Watch people who are doing what you want to do and model them. Model them. Chinwe, you asked a question. You said, what's the difference between a course and a program? Very good question. A course is something like it can be digital, like something you get a login for. You log on and you record. You may have 4, 6, 8 different modules. The biggest difference, I'll be honest with you, is typically low priced. That's a course, is low priced. A program, in general, has a longer term duration. It will have accessibility. It will have community. It will likely have access to the course provider, i.e. the coach, and there will be much more interaction, and it has a much higher price point. That's the difference between a course and a program. in general. Those are the differences. Here's something I have learned, ladies, and I shared a little bit of this with the ladies who came to, where's that place we went to last? Lake Como. So I have learned, and I will share this with you for free. I have learned with programs, this is for those who want to do programs, and I'm going to teach on this. This is actually what we're going to do in Marrakesh. We're going to actually design your program. I'm going to design your program for you. Well, not, we're going to do it together, but you're going to walk away from Marrakesh with your program done, start to finish. Your end result, who it's for, what you deliver. We're going to research all the people that you're going to model. We're going to go and model them together. We're going to clarify, craft, and communicate your message. Yes, thank you. That's what we're going to do in where are we going? Marrakesh. After a while, it's all, I don't know where we're going. By the way, next year we're going back to Lake Como. It's done. Anyway, that's what we're going to do in Marrakesh. You're going to walk away with your program done. But why do I say this? Because I have learned when you do a program, the best way to take it to high ticket, stick an event inside of it. Put an event inside of it, an in-person event inside of it. It takes it, what, not just high ticket, but you build instant community. Something else I'll share with you. Nothing creates transformation for the work you're doing, Chinwe, for the work you're doing, Lorena, for everybody's work here. Nothing creates transformation like immersion. Immersion in person. In person. There are 3 ways, and I think I shared this last time, and we're now completely out of time. Please forgive me, I'll stop talking in a second. There are 3 ways to change, to create transformation. One is space repetition, hashtag affirmations, hashtag slow burn. What's then we're just talking about slow burn. Second, constant space repetition. We don't really want that. Hashtag COVID, hashtag 9/11, which was what, yesterday. The third way, immersion. Immersion. That's why, even though I was already doing events, but now even people who were not doing events, who are in my mastermind, are now doing events. I was ahead of the curve. Who knew? Who knew? Because I have a coach who already knew, so she took me to Nassau, Bahamas. The point is, there's nothing more immersive than an in-person experience, especially if it's multi-day, i.e. more than one day, especially if you have to physically leave your home, even if it's in the same town. As long as you leave your home and go and immerse yourself somewhere else, the transformation happens from when you start to pack. From when you bring out your suitcase to pack, you're already starting to be transformed. I can see you nodding, Lorena. You know. You're getting yourself prepared. So for those who want to do programs, that's what I'm going to share with you, hashtag retreat. I'm going to share that with you. For those, I'm going to stop talking now. Any more questions? 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 Anybody else has a question? Going once? Chinwe, I'll come to you, Lorena. Chinwe, did I answer your question about courses versus programs? Are you clear?
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, we lost Lorena. I thought she was putting her hand up. I think she was putting her hand up. I think she may have left by accident, so we'll wait for her. Are there any more questions? Questions from anybody else? Or even takeaways, even if you just have a takeaway.
Okay, yes, Ene.
Yes.
So I know you talked about, what would be happening at Marrakesh. So I think you touched a little bit about that as well. But I think my question would be, how best to go about, crafting your message, learning how to tell your story. So, all you told me about clarifying your message, learning how to craft your story and communicating your story.
Yeah, good question. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you a few storytelling tips. Your story is, first of all, for anyone who needs to leave because it's past the hour, please let us know. We'll wish you goodbye or good night. I'm sorry we're overrunning, but that's what we do at the spa sometimes. I'm sorry. But if you need to leave, it's totally understandable. Just let me know and I'll give you a chance to say good night. Chinwe, first of all, when we talk about story, and I know you know this, but I want to take us back so that we're all taken off from the same place. Your story is not your entire life story. Your story is that single moment in time where something shifted for you, and that's what you want to use to transform people, right? And so you go in and you share, I'll give you an example. You share who you are now. This is a great storytelling framework. And I'm going to, we'll practice yours. We'll share who you are now. We call it the valley. Think of a valley. Think of a valley. You're going down. Sorry, that's Lorena going back in. You're going down and you're coming back up. You're going down and you're coming back up. Think of a V. It's a valley, right? So what you do is you say, hi, Lorena, we lost you for a second. Welcome back. So well, I'll come to you in a second, Lorena, because I know you had a question. So Chinwe, you say about who you are now, right? And that will probably take you about 30 seconds, no more than 30 seconds. Think of this V, who you are now. And then you take us down the valley. So you say something like, there was a time when I can't believe that I'm sitting here, standing here. I have the opportunity to speak with you. What you may know about me is I am this, and you share something great about who you are now. You have to blow yourself up, big yourself up now, as much as your ego will allow you to, right? This is who I am now. I can't believe that even though I am this person, you take us down into the valley and you say, it wasn't always like this. And there are lots of different techniques about your intonation, your voice fluctuation, all that kind of stuff that you play with. But basically, your big you, how great you are now. But it wasn't always like this. What you may see now is a woman who appears to be confident, to have her life put together, to wear clothes like this. I'm just making it up, obviously. But what you may not know is that not that long ago, I wasn't this person. I was married, and this is what happened to me. When you share what happened to you, you don't just share what happened to you. You share. You don't just tell us. You show us. So take us with you on that journey to that house that you lived in, right? But you still need to use your words very sparingly because you don't have too long to take us in and out of this story. So you come down saying, this is the life I lived. I was married. I thought I would be a happily ever after. I met him at university and it was love at first sight. Until the day he came home and I didn't have his dinner ready. And that was when I saw stars. Did you just hit me? Did you actually just hit me? And then it came again. So you take down, am I making sense? So don't just tell us, show us, show us, show us. So that we go with you. And then you come back up. I'm not saying this is what happened to you, my darling. You have to put your own actual story in. Then you come back up. It wasn't until I realized that my life was worth more than this, that I sought help. I went and I got counseling. I read books. I fled the country. I got my finances in order. You must have done things, Chinwe, to sort yourself out to come back out. I don't know what you did, but you know what you did. We'll come to you, my darling Faith. Tell us what you did. 3 things, tangible things, to tell us so that we can hold on. So that if I am in that situation, I can say, I'm going to try at least one of those 3 things you talked about. And then say, and that's why I'm so, what's the word I'm looking for? That's why I'm so passionate about this topic, because I know that somewhere in the world today, right now, there's a woman who's going, oh, did you just hit me? And you bring your circle back out, bring your V back out. Does that make sense? Be you, who you are now, how great you are, how well put together you are, how you've got this great job, how you're doing all these wonderful things. It wasn't always like that. I was this piece of muck that somebody treated like this. Then I did A, B, C, and I climbed out of that hole. That is your story format. Use it, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and get it so succinct you can deliver it in 2 minutes and still get the same reaction from the audience, so that they are convinced that that kitchen that you got slapped in, they were there with you when you got slapped. Sorry, Faith, you put your hand up, my darling.
Oh no, that was quite powerful. No, I was just going to say, when I did my events and I decided to give a presentation, which I prepared the day before. And basically what I did was I just, I said to people who I was, my name, and I said, I wasn't always Faith. I was, my first name is actually, I use my African name. That it changed when I went to boarding school because people couldn't pronounce it. And then I just spoke a little bit about my background, that I'm one of 9 children. And then I told them what my dreams were. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be that, but it just never happened, because of the type of society we were in. And, I just took them through a little bit of my journey. And then I just talked about, life, about the things that happened, like my dad's death, my auntie's death, her husband's death, all those things surrounding me. And I just thought, well, there has to be more to life than this, like he always said to us, And I decided that I wanted to share my story. This is why I wrote my book. And, so it was almost like the past to the present. And I said, so I quoted a few people, quotes and stuff. And I just said, I made it happen. So that's how I finished it. I made it happen. And then I just had a picture of my book there. So
powerful. Thank you. Thank you. That's powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Usually when people say your story, tell me your story, or when you have a presentation and we say your story, usually it's not, in your case, it was different, Faith, because you were doing a book launch. So you had the privilege, the prerogative is a better word, of sharing more. But typically when people say your story, they mean a single moment in time. It's not your whole story. They mean your defining moment. They mean, why are you here right now? That's what people, when people say your story, and it's an in and out, in and out, in and out. Then within that, there are different storytelling techniques. So that's the format, that's the framework. Who you are now, who you were at your lowest point, how you got out. That's the framework. But within that, there are different techniques, Chinwe, that you can use, such as you pause for effects. When you pause, guess what the audience do? They lean forward, because it's warning them that there's more coming. So there are lots of different little techniques you can do. Like as I said, like when you were hit, you can hold your face. Even if you weren't actually hit on your face, it's just about the, so there's a little bit of it's taking people into the journey with you, so that you're not just telling them the story, you're showing them the story. Because the more you can show people the story, the more they will see themselves in you and see you in them. And then they will want you to be the one who leads them out of that place that they're in. Does that make sense?
Yes, and wow, thank you so much. Honestly, I think, what you've just explained now is actually the highlight of this session for me. Like, you made it so, I know, yes, it's going to take quite some time trying to get used to, but at least I have an idea of, how you need to go about it. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You have a framework. But here's the thing, ladies. I shouldn't say, I don't know why I said but. There's no but. And here is the thing, ladies. When we have a framework, thank you. I saw the hearts. Thank you to everyone for giving Chinwe hearts. When we have a framework, it's rinse and repeat. Take that framework, apply it, because you're going to share more than one story. You may have a signature story, but you're going to share more than one story, right? So just take the framework, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. They're different story frameworks, but they're mostly similar. Some people use the reverse. Some people use the reverse valley. Some people use the mountain. Supposed to valley, they use a mountain, but it's still the same thing they do. You share your high, you share the depths of your low, you share how you got to where you are today. That is the framework, is the framework, is the framework, is the framework. And then the different techniques, which, as you said, you keep using, and as you use, you get better and better and better. But always, I'm going to say this, always tell people 3 things you did to get out. Why? That's what they will take as their lesson. That's what they'll be able to use. So it's not just telling the story, it's how can my story help you? And that's what they're going to say. Did she say, when they're going home, they say to their friends, did she say she got a coach? Yeah, okay, we're going to get a coach. Did she say she saved up money? Okay, I'm going to save up money. Right? So give them 3 things they can do, or at least aspire to doing, to get out of that. And that's when they will say to you, you changed my life. You didn't do a thing to them. You haven't even met these people, but you changed my life. Communication, ladies, ignore it at your own risk. That's all I can say. Ignore it at your own risk. Any more questions? Thank you for that question, Chinwe. Thank you. And thank you for just being open to learn. I just love your, yeah, Lorena, you see what I mean? She just soaks it all up. I love that. I love that. I love that.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, because all of your questions were bottled up, and I was like, oh, I was like, what is it? And then it was like, it's you. It's you. It's you're thinking too much. Every time I go to my heart, it becomes very pure. The message becomes clear and pure.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Ine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, darling girl. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone who needs to go now, we will finish in 5 minutes, I promise. We're already almost half an hour, but I just want to give anybody else who, if you need to go now, please, totally understand we've overrun. Apologies. Alina is like, nah, we're carrying on. But if you have any more questions, please ask. Now is your time. Now is your time. Don't be shy. You can ask as many questions as you want. Please ask.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know, when would you know when you're actually getting it 100%? I know there's nothing like 100%, but when would you know when you're getting it 100% right? Because I've been to, I've done like free online courses and things like that. I've been to different webinars, and they said it actually takes a long time, to perfect things. And I know that you've also mentioned, like, when you have an event, if one person turns up or if one thing turns to a sale, it's still a success, so, but when do you actually know when you are getting it right? Because I know, for example, if you're on Instagram, you may not get a lot of likes, but it doesn't mean people are not watching. So, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to ask that question.
No, it's a good question. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you. I've got an answer for you. And the answer I had when you first started the question is not the answer I have now. The answer, Faith,
Okay.
is you know you're getting it right when you stop caring whether people like what you're doing. That's when you know you're getting it right. When you lean out, and it's not about what Alina thinks, or what Chinwe thinks, or what Lorena thinks, or what Sen thinks, or what I think. It's about you honoring that thing in you. That's when you know you're getting it right. That's when you know, and I'm serious. That's when you know you're getting it right. I know I'm getting it right when one person, one, signs up for my retreat. I don't care about everybody else. Why? How dare I care about anybody else? When one person has said, not just take my money, but take my time.
Right.
How dare I care that I didn't get 1 billion people? How dare I care, Faith? When one person says, Ene, I choose you, I lean into that person and I lean away from everybody else. Not in a I'm mad at you way, just in a, I'm going to lean where I'm wanted. When you lean out is when you know you've got it right. Lean out. It's not about the likes. It's about you sharing your voice and knowing that your sheep will hear your voice. Even if they don't say, I'm hearing your voice. Lean out. Lean out. Alina, you're going to ask another question, my darling.
Yes, I was. It's probably going to be a big question for 5 minutes, but you've mentioned a few times now, like leverage what you've done so far. So, in terms of how do we know how to do that? Do we do the list to what we've done so far and then we choose how to leverage it? How do we navigate these waters?
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm going to try, and then you tell me if I'm hot, cold, or warm. Make an inventory of all your assets. Make an inventory.
Oh, this is what you mean.
Assets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I know you speak about assets. I know you speak about the assets. You've spoke about the assets quite a few times now. Not in this master class, but I just wanted to, because now it's clear.
Yeah, that's it. Make an inventory.
So thank you for that.
That's all right, my darling. Formal, informal, personal. Just make an inventory of everything, and yeah, I'm glad.
Thank you.
See, that wasn't a 5-minute question.
Yeah, I thought we're gonna go into it. Yeah, but this is exactly what I needed to hear. So thank you. Right on point. I appreciate that.
Thank you, my darling. Anybody else? Any more questions before we say goodbye? Any more questions? Lorena, baby girl, yes.
Hi, everyone. This isn't a question. It's a declaration and a decision that I will see you in Marrakesh. My mind is on Marrakesh, and I haven't figured out all the details. I'll be perfectly honest.
Lorena, thank you. God. Lorena, I want to say something, though. It breaks my heart, honestly, it breaks my heart because I hope you know that you and I can figure it out together. I hope you know that you can come to me and say, let's figure this out together. So it breaks my heart if you didn't know that. But I'm glad that now you do.
I knew it, but when it's verbalized, it's like there's no shame. It's like not about me. I have to be there for my daughters, my grandsons, for the women that I love and serve, for the women that I don't know, for the women who are waiting for me to get out of my own way.
Amen to that.
So yes.
I don't know that I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm just going to say, God bless you. That's all I'm saying.
I'll reach out between today and tomorrow, but yes, I will reach out to you. Yes.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. On that note, thank you, my
you've
darling.
just been a gold mine.
Oh, God.
A true treasure.
I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry, Laura. Don't make me cry.
There are no accidents. There just are no accidents. There are no coincidences. It's the path and the journey that we were meant to be on right now. I'm holding my phone, so I'm giving you only the half of the heart.
Phone heart. It was
no internet outage in the area, all kind of crazy stuff today. Phones dying, just
It's gonna be good. Thank you, my darling. Magical. Ladies, I don't want to keep you any longer. I'm going to ask for some quick takeaways, and then I'm going to say I love you, and I'm going to say God bless you. Quick fire round takeaways, please, before we say good night. Fire round takeaways. Faith, we're starting with you this time. No more hiding, Miss Faith. No more hiding. Go
on. For me, it's just listening and learning, because everything is a continuous journey. And I'm just so grateful that people have shared their stories and, just learning from everybody in the platform today. It's been, my takeaway. Thank you.
Love that. Thank you, Faith. Thank you. Fire round. Takeaways. Who's next? Thank you. Chinwe.
Okay, so for me, I think it's just basically, I need to get out of my own way. And yes, just be confident, in my message, like you said. It doesn't have to be, we don't need that validation, from others, to think about, what do they think about our message and all of that. But I think, just to wrap it up is just to step out of my own way and just give myself that permission to be me. That's it.
Yeah. Chinwe, if you don't mind me saying, I think you're actually so far ahead that you have no idea. I think you're already so far ahead, Chinwe. I think you're a beautiful girl. I think you're already, I know you're already sharing your story. And I just want you to know that you are doing so well. So if there's anything at all that is stopping you, kick that thing into touch and carry on doing what you're doing. You're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. Anyone else? Fire round. Come on, ladies. Fire round. Let's close.
I'll go quickly. Just want to say, I've known you for so long now, and every time I'm in your presence, there's value, and you bring value, and you are it, and I respect you, admire you for it, and you just remind us that yes, whatever we need to do to get through it, just show up there. So that's what I took today, my highlight, a part of Lorena being part of Marrakesh's retreat. I mean, that
That's my takeaway.
just blew my mind. Just blew my mind. But dare and dare to dream, and your dream is bigger than you and is waiting for you. So thank you, NA. And you just showing us the blueprint. I mean, like, what excuse do we have? So I love you, and I appreciate every single powerful, beautiful woman in here. So thank you, all of you, for holding space. Much love.
Much love. Thank you. Thank you, Amina. Thank you. Okay, next. Sen, you want to go next?
Yes. And while I was listening to all of you, I was praying. Because what I was going to say, there is a reason why we all here. And what I want to declare as well, because I was writing what you were suggesting to me. Due to my personal circumstances, probably I won't be able to come to Marrakech. But I always believe with one of above us. And in my quote, Overcoming Hardship, it says, I say, God makes a way where there seems to be no way. So I can clearly say, if I don't come there, there will be next event that Anna will make it in London before Christmas or New Year. So I will be there to meet you all. And I'm declaring as well, from this, I'm setting up one goal or dream, just one, to fulfill my goal and dream by 31st December this year.
Write it down, make it happen.
And I was praying for all of you, and when you all have wishes, because there is a reason why we're here, and there is a reason God connected us all
the time.
So we all have high value and high purpose in this life and in this earth, and we will make it happen. It doesn't matter how long it takes us. We will never give up, and we'll make it on the other side.
Thank you, Sen. Thank you. I agree. Nothing happens nothing happens without a reason, and who knows what our paths will lead us to tomorrow. Nothing happens for a reason. I hear you, and amen, and amen. And we hope to see you in London very, very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sen. Thank you. Thank you. I think you're going to close us up, my darling Lorena.
This has been fantastic to everybody.
Been fantastic. Wait, we missed you at the last one. We had one last month. Maybe you were on holiday. We missed you.
Oh, at the lunch or something. Was it afternoon?
No, it was virtual on the 17th of
Oh.
August. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. You're here now. That's what matters. That's what matters. Lorena, baby girl, you're going to close us out.
I thought I had.
Oh, sorry.
Lovely.
Was that you done? Sorry, I beg your pardon. Okay, Lorena has closed us out because she's coming to Marrakesh. That's all. That's what's closed out. Thank you, beautiful ladies. Apologies again. I've kept you so long, but I hope this has been of some value to you. And my invitation to you is to stop hiding. Stop hiding. Make it happen. Love you. God bless you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.